and let's go ahead and go into the world of football. And let's talk about who are the most vulnerable top 25 teams in CFB Week 2. There's a lot of them, too. There's a lot of games going on, and now we got new hype into teams and things like that. And I know what you guys want me to do. I know what you want me to do, right? I'm not going to do it because we'll wait until Friday for that situation when I have Jeff on the show because or Thursday, tomorrow, whatever, or whenever. But Friday, I was saving Colorado and Nebraska. But I'm going to be dead honest. I'm going to leak to you guys real quick. I don't see that actually being a vulnerable team this weekend because if you saw Nebraska's first game, Nebraska got a great defense, but they have an offense that's still kind of Pee-wee league. So it's going to be real tough for them to beat a team that fast and that capable of scoring at any given moment of the game. So it's going to be pretty tough in that spot. But I got a full breakdown of that game. But I'm going to keep it real with you. Alabama is on upset alert right now because they have to play against Texas of all teams. Texas is coming in number 11 this year. And we all remember Texas, it was a field goal away from actually beating Alabama last season. Yes, the game's going to be in Tuscaloosa, but I feel like the Crimson Tide are actually a little bit less potent than they were the year before because they are now bringing in a brand new quarterback. Bryce Young was a gamer. Bryce Young was a Heisman Trophy winner. He was a big-time quarterback. So he had to have a miraculous drive to come back and win that game. Can Kilroy do the same thing in the same type of situation? I don't know. Do I know if Texas defense has stepped it up? It looks like it. They did pretty good last week against Rice, even though it should have been a shutout if they were really going to do that good. You know what I mean? Because when you played against those teams, they're not even supposed to get a point on the board. You know what I mean? So they scored 17. Texas scored 37. So, that was good. They beat them by 20 points. But I still think that at the end of the day, we have a lot of very, very good teams in college football. And Alabama run at the top. At some point, they got to lose early in the season, right? At some point, they got to be a team that has to go through some, through the rites of passage to get back to being a great team. And I know that they're already great as is, but Alabama has showed some real kinks in the armor lately. And let's keep it real. And Texas is a tough out first real game that you play of the season. It doesn't really do Alabama any favors because they started the season off against Middle Tennessee State. We're used to Alabama playing a top 15 team every year. That just goes to show you that Saban knows that his team's not them boys this year. Same thing for Georgia, but I don't see Georgia have any issues in their game. Now, Ole Miss is on upset alert as well, too. Tulane, if they can beat Ole Miss, Tulane's probably going to go ahead and sheet college football this year. They'll probably go ahead and sweep out the AAC as well, too, because Ole Miss is their only obstacle this season when it comes down to a team that can get in the way of what Tulane is doing right now. And if Tulane's able to go undefeated, they should be a team in the Final Four at the end of the year. That shouldn't even be an argument because they beat USC last year in the Cotton Bowl, and that was huge. And that would mean that this team comes back, and if they were to go undefeated, that means they lost one game in 2 years, just like Cincinnati. So you really can't keep them out of the mix. And I know it's going to be tough because the voters really feel dumb because they let TCU in. Yeah, TCU beat Michigan, but they got absolutely destroyed by Georgia because we played the national championship in the Georgia-Ohio State game. That's because they should have, what they should have did? They should have just did it right. You should have had Ohio State play Michigan, and then you should have had TCU play Georgia. So you could have really made some real money. But it is what it is. The fools are still gonna the fools are still gonna watch this shit. So it doesn't matter. So pretty much that's a game that I'm looking at. And the third game that I'm looking at that is very, very suspect because it does not matter. Every single week in college football, a ranked team's gonna lose. That's a guarantee. It's just which one. That's the biggest question. Which one is gonna lose? It's not you never go into college football, college basketball, and there's not a week where a ranked team isn't beat. It's going to happen. It doesn't matter. So, who's the next team? The next team I think will have some issues coming Saturday. Of course, is going to be Texas A&M. Yeah, they're number 23 going into the game, but they're playing against Miami, and Miami needs this one. If Miami wins this game, Miami goes right into the top 25, and Miami has a boost of confidence because now the Florida State game means something again. So Miami is a team that can play under the radar all season to set up a ultimate game at the end of the year with Florida State. But hopefully they do have that game at the end of the year. I got to check the schedule on when Florida State and Miami play because they don't play at the end of the year. Sometimes they play mid-season because they don't look at the rivalry the same way that they used to when the teams were not in the same conference. So with that, that's going to be the games that I think we all need to look very closely at on possible upsets. But I'll have so much more for us as the week goes along. So let's move on to our next topic, and that's going to be about a team